Well, good morning, everybody. As you know, we are in the midst of a very interesting time to be alive. But as a Christian and as a member of the body of Christ leadership, I need to express what I believe the Spirit of God is saying to the church today. We are under attack. This is a direct attack and an assault against the church, masked by all of the other things that are happening around in our culture. So in other words, the government is limiting people's ability to work, to gather, to have funerals, to do just about anything. But it's a mask for actually going after the church. And the reason I say this is because we are in the midst of a spiritual battle, and only those of you spiritually minded will be able to understand what I'm saying. No disrespect to anybody, but this is something you have to discern spiritually. We at the church are under attack. Now, my suggestion is that we go into a time of prayer and fasting, because this is going to take an action that many church leaders are going to be very uncomfortable in doing. I see, unfortunately, many men of God who I love and respect, I see them kowtowing to all of the requirements necessary in order to meet. And I read some of them this morning from a friend of mine out of another state, and I was laughing. I was literally laughing out loud. In the country right now, we have less than 100. It's less than 50. We have very few deaths that have actually occurred as a direct result of COVID to people under the age of 20. I'm using this as an example. It's the truth, but it's just an example of how they're duping us. So the requirements in order to be able to have, let's say, children's church, or to be able to have children go to school, which they're trying to stop, make it nearly impossible to maintain, to keep. The social distancing requirements, the cleanliness requirements, the cleaning requirements, the plastic gloves, the hands, the cleaning, the masks. This is all a cover for an attack against the church. Now, this is going to bring division. Okay, Jesus said he came to bring division, even between mother and father, sister, brother. It's going to happen. But it doesn't have to happen to the body of Christ if we are aware. And I'm making us aware. And I know many of you already are, but let's pass the word around. We need to come against this in unity and in force, and refuse what the government is trying to mandate that we do. Now I'm going to give you a little foreknowledge of what's about to happen. Whether or not this president wins re-election, what is about to happen, the next step, will be a major attack against our country's financial systems, along with the increasing restrictions based on this COVID scam, or another, which very easily could happen. We need to say no. As a church, we need to begin to meet. We need to begin to meet and share with our people the truth, because we are truth bearers. At least that's what we're called to be, bearers of truth. Now, I know some Christians here and some Christian church leaders are going to say, well, if you love your neighbor, you're going to wear a mask. I say this: love without truth is a lie. And you, my friend, are perpetrating a lie on behalf of the enemy, Satan, who is working within the governmental system in order to overthrow the church's power and authority in these end days. This is a precursor to what's going to happen in the last days. And this is a sign, and it's time we rise up and do what's right. As a bearer of truth, you have the responsibility, complete responsibility, to tell your people the truth. Now, whether they accept it or reject it, that's up to them, but you need to give them the numbers and the facts. Now, yes, people have died from COVID. older people, people who have compromised medical situations in their life. That's a truth. We know it's happened. But if you look at the numbers, the majority, the percentage, majority, well over 50% of all the deaths that happened, and we know that the numbers have been inflated. The facts are out there, although they're not being reported in the mainstream media. But the greater percentage of people who died in nursing homes. Now, we know there's a reason for it. It hasn't been quite uncovered yet, but there's a reason for that. And that's one of the reasons why the governors of 4 Democratic states, including New York and California and Michigan, one of the reasons why they made sure people who were COVID positive got put into nursing homes. I know this might sound a little crazy to some of you, but I'm telling you, it was done purposely. So, what are you going to do? Are you just going to bow down to what they're trying to make us all do and create more fear in the lives of your parishioners and your congregants and the lives of your family and friends? Or are you going to be a bearer of truth? Now, being a bearer of truth means people are not going to like it. Many people are going to reject you. So if you're more concerned about the amount of money that your church brings in every week or the number of people in attendance, then I guess you have to do what you have to do. Listen, I'm tired of pastors who never tell people what they really believe. They give a pat answer. I've asked friends of mine who are pastors, hey, what political affiliation are you? You know what the answer was? Well, I don't tell people. That's my personal business. And that's fine. That is your personal business. But as a pastor, when are you going to take a side? You cannot be lukewarm. You cannot be in the middle and try to appease both sides, because it doesn't work any longer. And right now, the church is in a very dire place, and we need to stand up and be bearers of truth and lay the cards on the line where you stand. Be a man, be a woman of God, but lay out the truth. This is Pastor Mike Kalo.